Hello and welcome to this episode of 49 Faithfully. I'm your host, Miriah Lee, and we are joined again tonight by TL, Teran Lewis. How you doing, TL?
Hey, what's going on, Mariah? Nothing. Just happy to be here on this Friday. Glad I got the weekend off. Just here to talk some Niner football with you, and kind of happy we're having it so late in the week because if it was Monday or Tuesday, I was more pissed off. So I've calmed down since then. So
Yep, I agree. I kind of wanted to have it, earlier because I wanted to get out everything, but then
yeah,
now that I thought about it, I'm kind of glad, yeah.
yeah, cool.
So with that being said, let's just jump right into Green Bay. Um,
Sounds
yeah, obviously, I mean, we didn't end Green Bay how we wanted or how we were expecting or thought or hoped or any of that. It seems like the faithful are really mad about being 2-1. And I'm not going to say it's for that record. I mean, there's all different reasons. Everybody's, feeling some kind of way about it. How do you feel now that you calmed
good.
down and looked at things and
um, it's funny. I've never seen the fan base. I guess you can say so divided at this point because everybody, you have Team Jimmy, you have Team Lance. Then now that the week has gone by, you have so many people that are like calling for Kyle's head, and about his decision making, which he does deserve a lot of the blame in my opinion. But so going back, so if you want to even go back a week prior to going back to the Eagles game, I saw everything that was going on. Like, I've played football ever since Pop Warner. I started playing when I was 8 years old and even played a little junior college football when I was in the military. So, when you're people, when you're like us, there's fans and then there's diehards. There's people who root for the team just because, they either got married into it or, my dad was a 49ers fan, so I just kind of inherited the team. But then you got people like us who actually sit there and actually see what's going on. And during that Eagles game, I'm sitting there watching the game, and my 11-year-old daughter, who's a cheerleader, who cares nothing about football, was watching it with me. And I said this on Javier Vega's podcast, and it was just funny. And in the spaces, and my daughter goes, "Dad," she goes, "Why do you watch this? This is boring. It looks like the Niners are just doing the same thing over and over again." And I'm like, and I just couldn't do nothing but laugh. 'Cause I was like, that's embarrassing. My 11-year-old daughter who don't care about football sees what's going on. So why can't people who watch the games every week understand what's going on? And then
right?
if you look at the trajectory of this offense, I can see how it was starting to get stagnant. I saw it in the Philly game. So I'm like, man. So I predicted us to actually lose the Packers game.
Yeah.
I predicted the score was pretty close too. I predicted 28-24 Packers. So the loss wasn't a surprise to me. I
Yeah, I
think that,
remember seeing that
yeah,
in the chat and people giving you hell for it because they couldn't believe that you were, thinking that we were going to lose against Green Bay.
yeah, because everybody, and like I said, and it's getting irritating because everybody's all on that 2019 kick.
Yep.
Oh, 2019, we blew them out. We're gonna blow them out again. I was like, I wouldn't say they've gotten a lot better, but we haven't gotten any better. I don't think. Like I think we're worse than 2019. So you look at this Packers team, and I saw how everything was going, like I said, and I was just like, we're losing that game. So then, and I was just like, and if we don't lose, it'll be close, but it's not going to be a blowout either way. But I feel like Packers are going to win because we can't stop that offense. So that's how I feel about it. And so it's just, I was just looking at everything, and I think my main points of that was, everybody's saying, oh, D'Amico Ryan should have made some changes. That's understandable. You know, I see he's a rookie defensive coordinator. People need to understand like he needs time to adjust too, and he's playing with some difficult cards right now. And you and I talked on your podcast a few weeks ago, and we said it to ourselves: if Jason Verrett goes down, we're finished.
Yep.
And you said it, I said it. We're like, man, that's the one person I do not want to lose. Like, and of course, game one, that's what happens. So I'm looking at everything, and so I don't really blame D'Amico Ryan much. I feel like he played a pretty good game for the cards he was dealt. Too, and I know they went into halftime and they got some rest, but that first half was so horrendous. Like the defense was three and out over and over again, and then we get the ball, and then Jimmy throws a pick, first possession of that first play of that possession, and then they go right back on the field. So I feel like the defense was getting gassed pretty early.
Yeah.
But and I know everybody said, and I kind of agree. When Aaron Rodgers threw that first pass to Devontae Adams, and then we still had timeouts left. I feel like they let him hurry up and get the ball, and Aaron Rodgers already knew, like, I'm throwing it to him again. They should have used the timeout to slow it down to make adjustments on their end. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I will say we should have done. But just looking at the offense, though, Kyle cannot be happy. You look at all his offenses. I mean, you look at that. I mean, I think the prime example is that Atlanta Falcons team that went to the Super Bowl. They were unstoppable.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Did Matt Ryan win MVP that year?
Yep.
So okay, yeah. So he won MVP that year, and that offense was flawless. I mean, you can attack every angle of that field, and that's our issue. We can't attack every angle of the field. So yeah, so that's one of the things. So I'm disappointed in Kyle for not making the adjustments to say, hey, look, we need to do this, and that. And then I watched the game 3 times already. And so I put a lot of the blame on Kyle. I put a lot of blame, but then after watching the game a third time, he didn't call that bad of a game. I started looking at stuff and slowed the game down, pausing it and stuff. And there was a lot of times where Ayuk was open, Debo was open, but it was all outside of the numbers. And Jimmy held onto the ball and I don't think he trusted his arm, because he did not try to throw it to them once. So I don't know, Miriah. It's frustrating. I don't know what's going on with that organization. I feel like there's some dysfunction going on, because you look at the press conferences and there's just like nobody takes accountability except for Fred Warner. He's like, I played bad. I'm going to own it. Everybody else is like kind of pointing the fingers, if that's how I'm seeing. So
Fred and D'Amico seem like the only ones that are
yeah,
saying, "I'll
yeah,
take, I'll take first blame. It's my
yeah,
fault."
yeah. Everybody on
Kyle never.
defense. Yo, no, for sure. Everybody on defense is taking accountability. Offense is kind of like, like with Jimmy, and I know we can get into this, but it's like Jimmy was like only run the plays that are called for me. And it's just like, okay, so he's throwing Kyle under the bus, and Kyle, but then Kyle's sitting here like protecting Jimmy like he's one of his children. Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy's playing a great game. You cannot believe that, Kyle. There is no way you believe what you're telling us. So I'm starting to question Kyle and his decision making.
I mean,
So
why are we hearing more now that how great Jimmy is? And in 2019, when everybody says that was the best Jimmy, the best that we've seen from him, he took us to the Super Bowl. Yet we never heard Kyle praise him. He never had a good thing to say about Jimmy. Now all of a sudden, Jimmy's like the best thing that he's ever seen. Like,
yeah.
Jimmy does no wrong. Like, I don't. It's really weird. Like, I don't.
No, you're totally right. And the fact that he's sitting here praising Jimmy and saying, "Oh, Jimmy's a great quarterback," and this and that, dude. I was born at night, not last night. There is no way you feel that Jimmy is a great quarterback. Otherwise, you wouldn't have flirted with every good veteran quarterback on the market, like Deshaun Watson, Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, whatever the case may be, and then trading 2 firsts and swapping the first to go grab a quarterback. So, and I know Kyle doesn't like to show his hand and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's getting embarrassing, to be honest. Because it's like, why are you protecting this guy so bad? And I listen to numerous different podcasts, and some people on there making some good points, but and I'm kind of thinking, like, is it Jed York? Is he just like, what? We're paying this man $27 million. I'm cutting the checks. We need to just play him and this and that. And I don't buy the Trey's not ready. And because simple fact is, you scale back the playbook for Jimmy because he can't run the whole playbook. There is no way that you can't scale it back for Trey and him give you the same results, if not better.
And he's done it for a rookie before.
Exactly. He did it for RG3, who was
So,
similar. Yeah, who was similar, who wasn't even, probably a better athlete than Trey, but not a better quarterback from the pocket. Trey's a way better quarterback throwing from the pocket and arm strength and all that than RG3. So you did it for RG3.
with a better team around him now.
Why can't
Trey?
Yeah, why can't you do it with Trey, who's on a better roster? And what pisses me off, I mentioned this on Twitter earlier. It's like you look at our weapons. We have Kittle, who's a top 5 tight end. Let's just say that you can argue he's first, second, third, whatever, but he's top 5 for sure. You look at Kittle, you look at our weapons. Debo seems to be coming into his own. Ayuk showed promise. He's not even being used correctly. You got Kyle Juszczyk, who's a Swiss Army knife. It's like we arguably, if we played our cards right, could have a top 5 to 7 offense as far as our weapons go, because we have weapons.
Yeah.
We just are not maximizing our weapons potential right now because we're keeping in a quarterback who can't make every throw.
Yeah, and let's touch on that Jimmy Garoppolo press conference where they asked him, if he was, if the criticism, he's getting is fair, that he can't throw down the field and outside the numbers, and he said, he laughs and then says,
Yeah.
no, he doesn't think so. That he, throws whatever the game plan is. And then I was watching a couple game film breakdowns of the Green Bay game, and everybody's like, yeah, that's true, nobody's open downfield, all the, this is all little short routes, whatever. Well, what do you expect? That game plan is drawn up for Jimmy. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be drawn up to fit what he can do. What?
You're absolutely right.
So it's like, I don't know, like people are trying to stick up for Jimmy, and it's like, yeah, well, he's telling the truth, there's nothing for him to throw downfield, and it's just like,
Yeah,
there's a reason.
true. I can't blame Jimmy for what's called, but I do blame him for missing open weapons. So that is inexcusable. You're an 8-year veteran who supposedly you said, what did he say? I'm starting to see the game slow down for me a bit.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
You're still hesitant. You're still undecisive in the pocket. We're watching Peachy and Wayne the other day and Moles when they were talking about how people were saying the offensive line was bad. And I don't think so, because if you look at it, Jimmy looked undecisive because he was holding on to the ball because he didn't know where he wanted to throw it. And because, like we said, they took away his bread and butter by stacking the middle. So he was like deer in the headlights, like, where am I going to throw the ball,
Yeah.
And it's like, look at Aaron Rodgers. He was letting that ball go with, in 2 seconds. So he didn't even get the chance for the D line to get to him. So for an 8-year vet, the mistakes he's making are inexcusable. And this might not be a popular opinion, but you look at Trey. Trey's on a 4-year contract. Okay. I mean, and we get a 5th-year option. I would rather sacrifice because, well, let me backtrack. If Jimmy stays a quarterback, the best we're going to do at the best is 11-6. I don't think we win any more 11 games with Jimmy, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're 6-11 with Jimmy because of the offense deficiencies. So even if we make the playoffs, we might sneak in 6, 7 seed as a wild card. We're going to lose. So to me, that's a wasted season if you really can't win it all. And then to me, I'd rather sacrifice a year of one and done in the playoffs than have it hinder the development of my future quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, well, there's a chance, we win with Jimmy. But people don't realize, rookie quarterbacks could take up a year of development. You got Kittle, who's in his prime. You got Debo, who's because he'll be in his 4th year next year, probably looking for a big contract. So he's going to want to ball out. So you're wasting time and you're wasting chemistry time with our weapons because you let Trey get in there now. And even if he doesn't play the next 2 games, I would say, you know what, let Jimmy play until the bye. Even if you let Trey get in during the Colts game, let him move forward. If he gets 10, 11 games under his belt, by 2022, that chemistry with Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo will be there. And then Jimmy will be off the books. Then because we don't have much draft capital, we can use that $27 million to grab some free agent corners and shore up our holes that we have on this team, and then maybe go and try to win a Super Bowl then. Because right now, as it goes, if we stick with this roster with Jimmy being quarterback, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere, plain and simple. We're actually lucky that we finished last in our division last year, and we got a sucky schedule because we got teams like the Texans and stuff like that on our team. I think we play 2 of the sorriest teams already in Detroit and Philly. We have the Texans coming up. We got the Bengals who can go either way. We got the Chicago Bears, which will probably win, whether Jimmy or Trey are the quarterback. So it's just they're just wasting time with this roster, and people are, oh, you're a Jimmy hater and Jimmy wins, and this dude, I mean, this is not a Super Bowl team, point blank. What do you think?
Yeah, that's my whole thing is that it's either we have a Super Bowl team and we're getting there and we're winning, or else Trey should be playing. If we
Yeah,
don't have the roster to get us there, then we're doing nothing but wasting development time with Trey
absolutely.
because Jimmy's not going to be here next year regardless. So what does it matter what he's doing in there? What does it matter if he is getting chemistry with these guys? And like in the pressers when they asked about that chemistry between they asked Debo about his chemistry between him and Jimmy. Like Debo didn't make it seem like they had, like it was some big old chemistry that they had. He said, I'm a wide receiver. I have to get out
Mhm.
there and catch the ball. Like so it's like we don't need to develop Jimmy. We don't care what Jimmy does. He's going to be gone.
Mhm.
Like so I agree. We're doing nothing but wasting time, wasting development. We have all these draft picks from last year sitting on the bench
Yeah,
or inactive, and if they were all drafted to play together or what not, I don't know. But, well, none of them are getting developed.
exactly. Yeah, our
Like,
top, our
so,
yeah, you're right, Mariah.
and we don't have draft picks, going on in the future. So, what are we doing?
You hit the nail on the head with that one, and that's a good point because we have no draft capital next year. We don't even have a third, right? We gave our third in the Trey Lance trade, right? So we have a
Yeah.
second, and then a bunch of day three picks, right? Because we traded away Jonas Griffith for a pick and stuff like that. So, and you can't bank on using that extra 27 million on free agency because people might not want to come here. So it's a chance
Yeah.
you're taking. So you got people like Ambry Thomas, and you mentioned it earlier on Twitter. Like, I get it. I don't care if he's struggling in practice. I don't care if he's gotten burnt. You saw something in the kid. You picked him in the third round. Let him go out there and get reps instead of getting these dudes off the street,
Yeah.
bringing in a Buster Screen. And obviously, Buster Screen is not that good if he couldn't even make somebody's practice squad.
Right.
But you went up, you got Ambry Thomas. You guys were happy about it, obviously, because you don't spend a third round pick on somebody who you didn't see something in. So the kind of just like a quarterback, like I feel like quarterback and corner, and probably offensive tackle is probably one of the hardest positions to play. You got to have short term memory as a quarterback and a corner. If you get beat deep, you got to shrug it off. And I played football. Like I mentioned earlier, and this is one of those things where it's like you have people who are we call them practice players, who people in practice are ballers. They're making every play. They're all over the field. And as soon as it's game time, it's like, dude, where's all that greatness you showed in practice? And then it's the other way around. People who suck in practice are just like, it's just practice, whatever. But then when the heat is on, they go out there and perform.
Right.
There's no way you're going to figure out what's going on with Ambry Thomas unless you put that man out there and let him go through his bumps and bruises, because you're doing him a disservice sitting him on the bench, healthy scratches when you have three healthy corners. Like, he was a healthy scratch when K1 and what's his name, Josh Norman got hurt. We had three healthy corners all game. So that's another reason why I don't blame D'Amico. If you want to go back there, he had three healthy corners. Them dudes were probably gassed.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like you brought up with the corner and quarterback thing, both of our, both the high round quarterback and cornerback that we drafted didn't play last year. So
Hmm.
now let's sit them on the bench for another year. So now we're looking at the same issue with both of them. We're going
Yeah,
to go into 2 years of no playing time,
yeah,
and then think
stupid.
they're just now we're going to throw them out there to learn and get all the bumps and bruises when they could have been doing this the whole time. It's
Exactly.
just it doesn't make sense.
No, I'm with you, Mariah. I'm looking at the season, and I know people are like, oh, don't freak out. It's only 3 games. I get it. I mean, I totally get it. But at the same time, it's like, these NFL teams have caught up to Jimmy Garoppolo. And if he didn't get hurt in 2020, they probably would have found out sooner.
Yeah.
He took us to the Super Bowl, so but okay, cool. And then I'm sure, they studied film, and then 2020, he didn't even start off great. He wasn't even
Right.
doing good to start the season. So I feel like they figured him out last year. He just is unfortunate he got hurt. And then so I think they went into the season like, well, and like I said, we mentioned earlier about these players having these 2019 vibes, and I don't get it. Like, you got. I mean, I get it as players. Like you feel like, oh, we have the camaraderie, we're good enough, blah, blah, blah. We have all these players that signed a 1 year deal. They're familiar. But at the same time, it's like the league has gotten better and we've stayed stagnant,
Yeah. And it's
you
like,
know?
do they not see that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, I don't. I just don't. I don't get it, Mariah. Like I said, I don't know if there's, and I truly believe, and obviously we can speculate. It's all an opinion because we're not a fly on the wall, listening to conversations inside the meeting rooms. But I feel like there's something up. There's something going on because it just seems too awkward when I'm looking at everything, because I know if Kyle Shanahan is the offensive guru, genius, wizard, whatever you want to call him, he cannot be satisfied from what he's seeing in his offense. There is
Yeah.
no way I'm happy with what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So I don't, like
Like,
I
this is
said,
your bread
yeah,
and butter. And
yeah.
we have done looked like crap for the last
Like
how many
I
quarters,
would say
like,
at least. I mean, I can say the last game, we put together a good quarter. I wouldn't say we put together a good half. I think we put together a good quarter,
yeah, I think
and
we have
then
like a quarter a game so far,
yeah,
maybe.
and then and there was two times. I mean, I know it didn't happen, so we can say that shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but it very easily could have been where we went down both halves of the Philly game and the Green Bay game scoreless. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for Debo catching that pass and getting those yak yards, because he set us up for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have Trenton Cannon run back that special teams as far as he did, we can also go down scoreless. So I feel like Jimmy's been put in positions and helped by other. And I get it's a team game, so I'm not taking nothing away from him. But at the same time, the plays to me that got us in scoring position, he didn't have nothing to do with. Yeah,
Yeah.
he threw Debo the ball, but Debo got 60 yards after the catch.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, Trenton Cannon put us in position. And then, then you look at when we got down to the goal line, we're within the five. I know, and I blame it on Ayuk. He did catch a touchdown. He did drop a touchdown pass. He should have caught that ball. But at the same time, you take away that Jimmy had 5 tries in the end zone. He couldn't get it done. They put Trey in for one play, and he gets it done. Like, I mean, you look at the percentages: 7 snaps, 2 touchdowns. That's all I
Yep.
gotta say. That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say. That's ridiculous. I don't care if it's in the 10-yard line or not. The fact is, he's only doing what he's given, and when he's given, almost 50% of the time, he's scoring a touchdown. So
And he's getting put in not great situations, like,
no,
we'll put you in 4th and 1 and you better score, it's like,
yeah,
and he's coming through it, and that's the thing, is that Kyle trusts him enough to put him in those situations.
hmm,
But yeah, he's not ready enough to march down the field and get down there.
yeah.
He's just ready enough to score once they're down there.
Yeah, and that's when I don't get. They say, "Oh, Kyle doesn't trust him." You do not put a receipt. You do not. Sorry, you do not put a quarterback on the goal line time to score you a touchdown if you didn't trust
Yeah.
him. Otherwise, he would have been like, "Oh no, I need Jimmy because Jimmy at least can get us in." No, he went to the goal line. He used Trey twice,
Yeah.
and he scored both times he was there. So I don't want to hear no nonsense of he's not ready because um and obviously, you're not going to be ready unless you're getting snaps. He needs that game time speed snaps. You can't get to me. I mean, people say, "Well, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years." I get that, but Aaron Rodgers played 4 years of college football.
Yeah.
Trey Lance played a year. He played 17. No, not even. He played 14 games of football, or whatever the case may be. 14, 15 games of football.
And he was sitting behind Brett
And
Favre, not
yeah,
Jimmy G. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's sitting behind. Yeah, so yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like there's something going on. I'm starting to really question this organization because we've been. I mean, I know it hasn't been over the last two decades, but 49ers used to be the gold standard of football. Everybody wanted to come play for us, and it just seems like the way that things are going on is it's been ugly. Like there's just something that is not right, and I'm really questioning Lynch and Kyle for their decision making because you know if it was year 1 or 2, I can give them a pass for, you know, people like a Trey Sermon and stuff like that. But I feel like your bumps and bruises should already been gone. And I get you're not going to hit on every draft pick, but you're hitting on the most important. You're not hitting on the most important ones.
right.
You're not hitting on the second rounders and the Dante Pettis and Joe Williams, CJ Beathard, all these guys that you traded up for. And now this year, 2021, is looking horrendous for the first 3 rounds. So it's like, what are you guys doing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Melissa says, because today in the presser, I think it was, they asked Kyle if if Cannon would be used as a running back as well, or if he's just there for special teams. And he said that he'd be willing to use him as a running back. That he's looked good. So she's asking if we believe that, and if we would like to see that.
Um, Possibly, and he should have used him last week. I mean,
I
you were trying
agree.
to get the run. You were trying to get the run game going, and then you should have changed it up a little bit. You should have gave some snaps to Sermon, gave some snaps to Carry On Johnson. You should have seen I mean, he had 4 healthy running backs, active running backs, but he only used Kyle Juszczyk and Trey Sermon, which I didn't get. And most of the time he's using 3 running backs anyway, and
Yeah.
he didn't give not any of them a snap. So I just didn't understand why. I mean, you got that guy Patrick that they got out of Cincinnati, I think. Huge running back, 6'2", like 230. Why didn't he get in? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just like, when we had that 4th and 1 on the 50 down by 10, you should have put him in. Let him
Yeah.
get in there and get a run on to get a 1 yard. I don't know. I I don't know what the deal is. Like, I feel like what's funny? I mean, I hate to say this. I feel like, I mean, if it is the case where it's upper management, like either Lynch, and I really don't think it's Lynch. Lynch just seems like he's too humble, but I could be wrong. But I feel like, I don't know if it's just like the CEO or something, just say, no, we need to play Jimmy. We need to play Jimmy, and Kyle's just making Jimmy look average on purpose so he can throw Trey in. Like, and he's arrogant enough to do something like that. Like, okay, well, if you don't want me to have it my way, even Debbie says seems sketchy. Yeah, it's just like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We can beat a dead horse on this, but it's just something is not right in that organization, and it's kind of scary because it's gonna. I just hope that, and there's talk too about people in the locker room. He doesn't want to divide the locker room. Since
Yeah.
when do your employees get to tell you what to do?
Right.
So I don't care if Kiddo and Mike McGlinchey and all these other guys are Team Jimmy. Screw you guys. I'm the boss. We're putting Trey in. I don't care what you guys think. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I'm not gonna, and like I said, his job's gonna be more on the line than anybody else's. I mean, yeah, I think John Lynch might get fired before him, but I don't see a Jed York saying, "Oh, kiddo, you want Trey Lance. I mean, you don't want to start Trey Lance, so I'm going to trade you." I don't see that happening.
Right.
I don't see them saying, "Oh, Debo, I'm gonna get rid of you because you want Trey." And I don't see that happening. Like, I really truly believe like Kyle just needs to grow a pair and say, "Screw you guys. Our offense sucks. We can't get anything going. We're getting. I mean, like everybody says, the way that Jimmy throws the ball over the middle, he's gonna get these dudes hurt."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, did you see how many times like Ayuk was getting smacked, and like, was it I think Trent Sherfield got smacked against the Eagles? Like, he's putting he's getting receivers that are 200 pounds smacked up in the middle for 240, 250-pound linebackers. You know what I mean? He's gonna get these dudes hurt, and I don't know.
And
But yeah,
that's my biggest thing is like why the players wouldn't want Trey, like especially the
yeah,
wide receivers and Kittle,
mhm.
like he's going to do nothing but raise your value,
Yeah,
like I that's why it just doesn't. I don't know.
yeah.
Like
Then
I
you look,
get that that's your
yeah,
guy and whatever, but at
yeah.
the end of the day, like this is a business, like you're
Yeah,
saying, and I don't.
yeah, no, yeah,
It's
you're totally
crazy.
right. Yeah, no, you're totally right. And somebody like Ayuk who practiced in the offseason with Trey, he knows how strong that arm is,
Yep.
and he's getting so underutilized. It's sickening because I'm sure he's looking at like a Justin Jefferson, C.D. Lamb, all the guys in his draft class. They're eating, putting up stats, getting touchdowns, and he
Yeah.
has 5. We're going into our fourth game. He has 5 catches for 43 yards.
Yeah.
A shame.
That's another
Shameful.
thing, that's like so crazy is the whole Ayuk thing. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Like a lot of us thought we were going to go into this season and that was going to be our wide receiver one.
Hmm.
And oh, no, he's not playing. No, he's in for 2 snaps. No, it's like,
Yeah.
it's such strange. Like, I'm just at a loss for words because it's like, you can't believe anything that even is said.
Yeah, for sure.
and then what's said is that is like completely different than what happens. Like
Yeah.
even with the injuries,
Mhm.
oh, Kittle's injury, he'll most likely play. Well, then it comes out today. He's probably not going to play.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Oh, it became a lot worse than what we thought. Well, and then he's been injured since week 1. He got this
Yes, from
injury. It
what they
wasn't this
said,
game.
yeah.
So that it just got worse all of a sudden, or you're not being truthful like usual.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Mariah. It's crazy.
A-
So,
And that's back
y-
to the Cannon thing. Like, who knows if he's really going to get used? Like,
yeah.
and I agree. I think he should have been put in last week. If
Yeah. Well,
if the running backs you were putting in weren't working, and you opened the game with Juice as our running back,
yeah.
yet you have running backs on the that are there available, and you're not putting them in. You're not even trying. The running
Yeah.
game's not working. Why aren't you trying who we have there?
And that's what's laughable. Oh, we're trying to get something going with the run game, but Trey Sermon couldn't get going. Okay, well, you had 4 active running backs. Okay, well, Trey, we gave you 10 snaps, something ain't working. Okay, let's try something different. Let's try somebody who has a little bit more speed, maybe to hit the edge.
And
Let's
that's what
try
he
let's try
normally
a
does
Trent.
anyway.
Yeah, let's try a Trenton Cannon to see if we can get something going. Okay, he got 5, 6 snaps. He can't get whatever the case may be. And like I said, when we have healthy running backs, he does that anyway. So it was just kind
Yeah,
of mind boggling of why he didn't do it this time, where he was just like, well, let me just go ahead. And then he had to abandon the run early because we got down so many points. So it's like now you're forced to throw, and now we're in trouble because that's not Jimmy's strength.
right. Now we're
So
trusting Jimmy to drop back 40 times. It's
yeah,
like I can't even trust him to drop back one time. I get nervous, and
yeah.
we're trusting him to do that.
hmm And then what bothered me in the play, well, in the press conference too with Jimmy, like I said, and again, another 8-year vet. I expect this mistake to be for somebody like Trey. When we were, and I get it, and I'm not condoning Kyle Juszczyk going down on the one. This is not what I'm saying, because I still think he should have scored. My
Yeah,
thing
I
is,
agree.
I think is with Jimmy, we're down. We're the play clock and the game clock were running at the same time. He could have waited until it got to like 5 seconds to snap the ball and then run the same play. But he didn't do that. He snapped it at 12 seconds, and then we gave him the 37 seconds. Regardless, somebody to go down the field and then win the game for us in 37 seconds is shameful in itself. But at the same time, you take, an extra 7, 8 seconds off the clock, which you didn't have to use a timeout and save your timeouts and run the same play and score a touchdown. That would have been more feasible. So,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable things happening
Yeah.
right now. And I think that goes back to the thing is that most people, they're not mad, they're not upset that we're 2-1, like,
Yeah.
people want to make it seem like we're just being crazy because we lost one game. No, that's not it. It's a bigger picture than that. It's
Yeah.
it's what we've seen through the first 3 weeks. It's
hmm
that we're supposed to have a head coach that's such a genius, yet he can't get his offense doing anything.
Yeah.
His run games, his bread and butter, yet we have no run game.
Yep.
And I understand we had running backs go down, but everybody has said this whole time we can pick running backs off the street and Kyle Shanahan can make them work.
Exactly.
Anybody can work in this offense. Any running back can work. Yet, oh, now none of them can work,
Not
right?
none from
It's
court.
like,
And the thing is, it's like I don't even blame the running backs. I blame Kyle for not opening up the offense because all these defenses are doing are stacking the box. How can you run the football when there's 8 in the box?
yeah,
So it's like and those are my three beefs with what's going on. So just like you said, people were like, "Man, you guys sound angry. We're 2-1. It's early." No, my issue is you got one. My first and foremost thing is the development of Trey Lance.
yeah,
Because, like I said, he's on a rookie deal. You want to maximize that contract and get him up to speed. So that's my main issue. The second issue, Trey Lance helps the run game. So you put him in, now you got to play 11 on 11 football. You can't stack the box because you stack the box and then you take it. Then you take a safety away from one of those. Like if you I'm putting my money on Ayuk and Debo if you put them one on one. You
yeah,
put them one on one, I'm taking them all day. You put Kittle one on one, taking him all day. But now you're forced to have Kittle sit in the box. I mean, sit on the line of scrimmage and block because they're putting 8 in the box and they're blitzing and all this other stuff. So now Kittle's not being used to his full capacity because he has to be used as a blocker because we can't run the football. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's I mean it's like a domino effect, and people ain't getting that. And then too, like I said, it's the this if you understand football, the trajectory of this offense and how it's looking is going to keep being the same every single week because Green Bay has put the blueprint out of how to stop this offense.
Yep. I agree. And you think that the teams that have to play us twice, a year, that they're not going to be ready for it?
hmm
It's like,
and then you're looking at the Seahawks, who you look at them, they lost two straight.
yep,
Getting a team coming. I get it, it's in our house, but getting a team in our own division coming off two straight losses, it ain't going to be easy. So
and not
yeah,
just any team, a team that we struggle with, no matter how
yeah,
good or bad they are.
exactly. No matter
You
what the
know?
situation is, Russell Wilson. I mean, you're looking at the Seahawks right now. Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams are licking their chops.
Yeah,
I'm crowding the box. I'm gonna blitz. I'm gonna do what I have to do because one, you're keeping Kittle on the line of scrimmage because he's probably gonna have to help block a Jamal Adams and stuff because they're gonna be scared for all the blitz and Bobby Wagner and stuff. And the thing that too is what I can bring up too with Trey, you run a three wide receiver set. Now you're forcing people to get out of the box because you can't leave a receiver open.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's getting to a point where I'm not even mad no more. It's starting to be comedy because it's like I know they're lying to us, and I'm a 49er fan. Foremost, I win. I want us to get that Super Bowl, but fam, this team ain't it. It's not happening. I mean, and regardless, I don't think we would win this year with Jimmy or Trey. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not saying like, oh, we're gonna put Trey and go to the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying.
right,
Because it's probably, I
right.
mean, Trey. I don't care if Trey gets in and we go 6-11 because you look at Peyton Manning. His team went 2-14 or something. Or no, I want to say he went 3-13 the year he was a rookie, threw 28 interceptions and led the league. Came out to be a Hall of Famer, but what helped? They put him out there. Josh
Yeah,
Allen got put out there his rookie year. He struggled his first year. They questioned him. Oh, is he going to get better? This situation is a want to. It's like, do you want to be good or not? I feel like it is, and I feel like Trey's mentality and his smarts and just his dad having experience playing in the NFL for a year as a corner and playing in the Canadian Football League. His dad, I mean, what gets me with Trey, his work ethic is top notch. I don't know
yeah,
if you ever seen the video with him and his dad where he told his dad when he was 15, he was like, "Dad, can you wake me up at 5 in the morning so we can go run and play catch and go train?" His dad was like, "I'm not waking you up, but if you can set your alarm and get me up, I'll go with you." And Trey got him up 4 days a week at 5 o'clock in the morning so they can go run and Trey can go throw the football around to his dad. That's dedication, and that's something
mhm,
he still had the same way. I mean, he's on the sidelines, he's in his playbook, he's looking at the plays, getting mental reps. You got to put the kid in.
yeah. I agree. Um, Melissa says, I understand D Ford is coming off some serious injuries like the back, but why do you think Sosa isn't in more?
Again, I'm questioning that. Like, I don't understand. Like, in preseason, we were so hyped about our D line depth.
Yeah,
And that's another thing that's been questionable. Like D Ford, I don't know what's going on with him. You and I talked last year, Miriah. He's in his last year too. You
yeah,
got to get rid of him. But I think with the D line rotation and Chris Kasarek's amazing. I'm not doubting him at all. But I think the rotation is not good. To me, Eric Armstead should never be on the end. Never put him on the edge.
agree.
Too slow off the ball. He's better interior. I mean, with the I mean, even if you want to keep a 3-man rotation, I think Kinlaw, Armstead, DJ Jones should get the majority of the snaps. They're your best three interior D linemen. Then, every once in a while you want to throw in a Givens, or I think he's hurt, but Zach Kerr and Contavious Street, whatever the case may be. But
Yeah,
those three should be your primary guys. And I think Ebocom should start getting more snaps. And two, I think if you start putting, like, even if you want to move Bosa to the interior sometimes, you have a lineup of Ford, Armstead, Bosa, and Ebocom. That's a lot of speed. you get them going and get some more speed going off that line. But our D line, even though we have a lot of depth and it looked great going into the real season, into the main season, it hasn't looked that good.
No.
And I just don't, I just, and that too, I don't know what's going on. Like, and that's another thing, it can be on a different show, but I'm sick of these free agents that we're bringing in that have injury issues. It's funny. I was at this pet store getting my dog some food the day that trade went down, and the guy in the store, he was a Chiefs fan. He was like, "Oh, I see," and I had on my 49ers stuff. He's like, "Oh, I see you guys traded for D Ford, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a good pickup." He goes, "He's always hurt, boss." He was
Yeah.
like, he told me straight up. He goes, "He's always hurt, boss. You guys will be disappointed." I go, "Well, and then of course I try to give this regime the benefit of the doubt, and this and that, and sure enough, the dude was correct, and he's
Yeah.
still hurt for us. So yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah. And it seems like, I mean, even, I'm sure I'm going to get some hate for this, but like Kittle,
Hmm.
like the dude is always hurt.
Hmm.
We paid him all this money, and what have we got out of him since? Like, I understand the times that he's on the field, he gives us 150%. Like, I get that. And I love him. And I think, that he's the top tight end in the game.
Hmm.
However, back to the whole thing, if we're getting on Jimmy for his injuries and this player for his injuries and everybody else for their injuries, well, we're paying Kittle a lot of money to not be available.
Hmm. And to
And
piggyback
all
off
of the
that,
players
yeah,
that we're paying money are
yeah,
not available. It's like,
except for Fred Warner. Fred Warner's
yeah,
the only one who's
so far, yeah.
yeah. And was the same thing with Kittle, and I kind of don't blame it on him. And this is why, Mariah, I think Kittle gets hurt more because he's used too much inside the trenches.
Yeah.
He's what is he 240, 250, and he's banging most of the game with these 300-pound defensive linemen. You don't see Travis Kelsey getting hurt.
Right.
You don't see Darren Waller getting hurt. You know why? They're used as a receiver.
Yeah.
They're put in the slot. They're put in motion. They're going out and catching passes where you got Kittle playing 80% of his snaps at the line of scrimmage. I'm sorry, you put a 250-pound person against somebody 315, 320, eventually they're going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I get it. No, and you're right. He is always hurt, but I blame that on Kyle too because he's used too much at the line of scrimmage as a blocker instead of to what he needs to be as an excellent pass catcher. I mean, the
Yeah. I
dude
mean,
broke
and
the
then with
tight end record. He broke the record for tight end receiving yards. Dude needs to be used as a receiver.
right.
I don't get it. Yeah,
And then when he's not in the trenches, I mean, due to Jimmy,
yeah,
he has to carry, every defender down the field with him when he has the ball in
yeah,
his hand, like,
exactly.
I completely get, I understand why he's hurt. I get it.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, we're paying a lot of players that they're not giving us what they're
Bang for
they're
our
being
buck,
paid.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Whether
two,
it's Steve Ford, him, Jimmy, down the
yeah.
list, it's
Well, then
like,
two, this is two. It's like and I started seeing a pattern, and I got pissed off. So last year, when we were picking, I wanted Tristan Wirfs for that offensive line, right?
yeah,
We picked up, and I remember hearing about Javon Kinlaw through the whole draft process. Everybody kept talking about knee tendonitis. He has problem with his knees. His knees swell up. Blah blah blah. And then who do we pick? That's who we get. What was going on? Knee tendonitis. It's followed him to the NFL. He's never always available. So it's like,
right.
when are you gonna wake up and start getting these dudes who are healthy? I mean, I just don't understand it. I feel like we have Trent Baalke 2.0 back in the building. It's like we keep getting these dudes who have injury history, and it's like, well, what's going on here? Like, why do you like? I don't know. To me, I'm not spending a top 15 pick on a receiver that's 315 pounds, 315 pounds with knee issues. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. That's what, and everybody's quick to stick up for Kyle, and like, I get it, and I like Kyle. I was so super excited about him coming here, but
Hmm.
I mean, have we gotten from him what we should be getting from him?
No,
When we wrap it the whole package up, are we satisfied with the results that he's given us?
4 out of 5 losing seasons, right?
And how's he preparing the team to go into the future to win, to have other winning seasons? I mean, the way we're looking right now, he's not.
Yeah. And it looked, and it was funny too because I felt like Kyle saw the light. Like, when before the draft and the draft process, there were always because obviously leading up to the draft, it was all this talk about Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, whoever the case may be, right? Sam Darnold even. And then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, he made that huge trade. And then you look at him in his press conferences, and he was like, "What he said, I want a quarterback who runs like Lamar and throws like Drew Brees or whatever he said, right?" So I'm like, okay, maybe he's like, man, I can't accelerate this offense until I get me a Josh Allen, until I get me a Patrick Mahomes, until I get me a Russell Wilson, somebody who makes me play 11-11 football. He mentioned that so many times. I want to
Yeah,
play 11-on-11 football. Well, you're not doing it. So
right.
I was excited. Like, yeah, he was a rookie. Trey was a rookie, but at the same time, I'm like, man, Kyle's finally getting his shiny toy. Other than Kirk Cousins that he picked in the fourth round that year with Washington football team, he's never got a chance to really pick his quarterback.
Right.
He's always been an offensive coordinator or whatever, so he never had the last say. So I'm like, when he finally picked his quarterback, I'm like, good. Now I can see it in the future being something like the Falcons when they went to the Super Bowl, when they were unstoppable, when they would score at will, whether it was deep, intermediate routes, screen passes, whatever the case may be. Kyle had the X's and O's where somebody was always open. And to be fair, watching the Green Bay game, there was people open pretty much every snap too. Because when Jimmy threw that deep ball to Kittle, Ross Dwelly was wide open and wasn't nobody 15 yards near him.
Yeah.
He probably could have got about at least 30, 40 yards before he was touched. So it's like those are the miscues that hinder this team, and the limitation of Jimmy and his arm strength and him not being comfortable and trusting his own arm to throw outside the numbers deep because he's scared of an interception. It's just, this ain't getting it done. So that's why I think you and I agree with, like, yeah, it's nice, yeah, cool. I, to me, it's not going to excite me to say we're 11-6, a six seed in the playoffs, getting ready to play Tampa Bay first round
Right.
or Rams first round, and we lose. Oh, we made the playoffs. Yeah, but like you made the playoffs, but you weren't, like you said, this is not a Super Bowl roster. You made the playoffs, but you hindered your future by sitting him the whole year and not letting him develop after you spent three picks on. That's just, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that's our main beef.
Yeah. And I
So
think, yeah, I think that's why, like I said, that everybody's like losing their minds
yeah.
because I think, we were ready to give him the benefit of the doubt because, like you said, we thought he saw the light, he traded up. We're like, okay, we're going to go into the season, we're going to see Trey. Okay, even if he wasn't starting, at least more than what he's being used.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
no, we're not seeing that. So, we see that he's not learning, he's not playing. We see the
Hmm.
offense is stalling, yet you're not doing what you should be to get it going.
Hmm.
So you're not playing like you're playing to win,
Hmm.
and you're not playing like you're playing to set this team up for the future.
Yeah,
So at
you're
the end of the
absolutely
day,
right.
what are you playing for?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe his job. Maybe he feels like I need to play Jimmy because if I don't win, I'm fired. Like it could, I don't know. Like it just, it could be numerous things. But yeah, I think you're totally right. I just, and I think that's where the questions are starting to come in because it hasn't been too many people that have been irritated, frustrated, whatever you want to say about Kyle. But I think it now is really starting to come out.
yep, yep, I agree. Um, so yeah, Seattle coming, like we said, they're coming off two losses in a row,
Hmm.
and it's always a tough game. You can never count Russell out, and I feel like I have the worst nightmares out of any quarterback when we play him. I swear, it's like, okay, yes, they got him. He's down. He's sacked. No, he's like squirting out of over here, and all of a sudden free and running, and like, it's like he always can make something happen.
Hmm.
So like with the problem that we're having at cornerback, the how the defense, is playing overall, what are we going to do to to
So
control the situation?
Yeah, so after we beat the Eagles, I predicted us to go 1-2 these last three games, and I actually predicted us beating Seattle because I thought, okay, we're probably I don't know, I knew we were going to lose to Green Bay as I predicted. I said 28-24 Green Bay. It was pretty close, but I was like, okay, we'll probably beat Seattle because I really thought Seattle was going to go in there and beat Minnesota. So then when I see the Seahawks lose to Minnesota and then the way they lost against Tennessee, they're coming in hungry. They're coming
Mm.
in like, man, I can't be because if we lose this game, we're the one. Even though the records, what we'll both be 2-2, right? Yeah, if they
Yeah.
beat us, they'll be 2-2. We'll be 2-2, but it'll put us last in the division because the loss because we have a division game
Right.
loss. So if they come in there and they beat us and they know like, man, this game is at stake for last place in the division, and in this division, which is the toughest in football, you can't get behind, especially the way the Rams are playing. So I think, I truly think this division is good enough to put three teams in the playoffs. So, especially with the way this new setup is where the top seven teams in each conference goes to the playoffs. So I'm looking at this game and it's been going around where Jimmy G has never lost two in a row, but then Russell Wilson has never lost three in a row.
Right.
So something's gonna have to give. And what I think is gonna give is Jimmy losing two in a row. I just do not feel comfortable. And I'm not hating. I'm not panicking. It's just I just think Seattle, even though their defense is atrocious, but their wide receiver, I can argue that their offense is more potent than Green Bay's. One, they have a running quarterback who we struggle with. Two, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. We struggled with one receiver in Devontae Adams. What are we going to do with two of them who can beat you deep, intermediate? Um, Tyler Lockett runs great routes.
Yeah.
I just don't see it, Mariah. I mean, for us to beat them, we have to keep up with them offensively. And I just don't trust our offense to beat this defense, especially because I feel like they're going to start playing exactly how Green Bay played us. They're going to stack that box. They have, probably you can argue the best still linebacker in football, and Bobby Wagner. So we have Bobby Wagner and then Jamal Adams. He's a box safety. He's gonna blitz. He's gonna blitz all day. So if for us to win this game, I really hope that they, even if you're not gonna use a three receiver set, put Kittle on the slot. Line him out wide and see what he does. Because then at least you're not gonna put a corner on him because he'll out muscle him. And and just be more physical. Jamal Adams is not a cover safety.
Right.
So you have to get some people out of that box and maybe put Jimmy in shotgun. Jimmy in shotgun. Um, do more three receiver sets so they don't crowd the box. And then Jimmy's gonna have to beat us with his arm, and then our running game has to be our offense has to be balanced. We can't have Jimmy throwing the ball 40 times. He throws the ball 40 times, we lose this game because that means we're playing catch up. So I'm gonna give a prediction on this, and I think we're gonna lose 28-23.
Yeah. Um, my whole thing is, who are we matching up against DK? Because the guy is like a crazy, humongous, fast, big. I mean, come on. We have nobody in that back end to put against him, let alone both of them. And we can't stop anybody's run lately. So Chris Carson or whoever they have right now, I think
Hmm.
Chris Carson.
Yeah, it's Chris Carson.
I mean, are we going to stop him? Are we going to stop the run or the passing game? Or like, I don't know. I don't see it happening. I really don't. And it's not that I don't have faith in D'Amico. Like, I think he's going to be great. I don't put these losses on him. That
Hmm.
I'm not that one, but he can only do so much with what he has there.
Exactly.
We can't bring Scooter and Boomer off the streets and throw them back there. Like, we
Yeah.
might as well put Charlie and Charlie in there. They can do
Yeah.
something better. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, yeah, the offense. I mean, we haven't seen it do anything. So why would we go into this game thinking that we're going to see something different?
Hmm.
I'm not. I don't know. It's like you watch back the Green Bay tape, and your wide receivers are there wide open.
Hmm.
Ayuk's breaking ankles, and Jimmy's not throwing him the ball. It's like Jimmy just sees one person and he's going to throw to that person only,
Yeah,
whether that's Kittle, whether that's Debo. We've seen it so many times with him. And I don't think Kittle's going to even play this game.
yeah.
So
If he doesn't
it's like,
play, oh man, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of faith in Dwelly. I like his game, but he's not Kittle. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Yeah, yeah. If he doesn't play, it's really all she wrote. It's really over with. And and maybe you and I talked about this before, and I don't agree with it because I feel like Jimmy Ward is obviously a better safety than corner. But maybe you get creative in some situations where you put Tart back at free because Tart was originally a free safety in college. Put Tart at free and maybe put Ward on Tyler Lockett every once in a while. You know what I mean? Just to change
mhm,
things up, and then you could put Hufanga at strong safety. I mean, at least for the better matchups, but you're right. Josh Norman, even though he doesn't have the speed I mean, there's not too many corners who got the speed of a Metcalf anyway.
right.
Dude was 6'4", 230. I mean, he's a physical specimen.
Yeah, he
6'4",
is.
230 and runs a 4.3. So not many corners will keep up with him with the speed, but at least Josh Norman is physical.
Right.
And he would have at least kind of jammed him at the line and kind of at least to mess up the timing with him and Russell Wilson almost said Russell Westbrook and him and Russell Wilson. At least you'll knock off some timing with that. But him, I mean, for the future of his career, if I'm them, I wouldn't play him even if he was available,
Right.
because I'm sorry, you're coughing up blood. You need to chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can play against Arizona. I'm gonna give you this week off. But I mean, if because I honestly don't think he's playing, so he's not going to
Right.
play. So I think you have Mosley probably going up against Lockett, which is a decent matchup, but still Lockett's going to win every time. But at least that's probably the best situation for that. But like you said, who's guarding Metcalf? That's going to be a
Yeah.
nightmare. So, and then like you said, Chris Carson, because that wide nine has not been good this year.
No.
It's been
No.
horrendous.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, teams have been running all over us, and I think, okay, well, we saw that this team ran all over us. They'll fix it for next week, and then next week comes and teams run all over us. It's like
yep,
they just the same thing, like your daughter said, keeps happening over and over and over and
yeah.
over.
Yeah, I couldn't believe she said that. And I was just like, wow. Yeah, that's just I don't know. So yeah, what's your prediction for that game?
I definitely am going with us losing, and I think it's going to be. I thought it was going to be closer at the beginning of the week, a closer game. But as we're getting, through the week, I think that they're probably going to maybe like a 21-10, somewhere around there.
Oh wow, you think only 10 points for us, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. From what
Yeah.
I mean, I have
Yeah.
no confidence in this offense right now.
Yeah.
And then Kittle's not playing, so who's going to help the offensive line? Who's going to help the running game in that area? They couldn't even do it with Kittle in there, so it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not confident right now.
Yes. Yeah. I'm the same way because I figure and it's funny too because Arizona plays the Rams this weekend, and I truly think the Rams are going to win. They're playing
Yeah.
at home. So I think when the weekend's over, we're going to say Rams are 4-0, Arizona's 3-1, and Seattle and San Francisco will both be 2-2. But with us losing, we'll be last in the division.
And then we
And
have
yeah,
Arizona next week, the
at
week
their
after.
house,
Yep.
who got more weapons?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who has more weapons?
Yeah. I mean, so as we, not to get too far ahead, but
Yeah.
let's say that we drop both these coming up games and
Mhm.
we go into the bye like that. Do we come out? Who do we have at quarterback?
So that's kind of tricky. If Jimmy plays well and we lose, he's a starter. I think Jimmy has to have two horrendous games and the offense has to look just super terrible for them to say, okay, you know what? It's time. Like our offense isn't going anywhere. We can't score on anybody, and like we mentioned earlier, Kyle cannot be happy from what he's seeing in that offense, Suffield. Um, yeah, I think it's just I think, and I'm gonna be honest, if it's me, so if we lose against Seattle, and let's just say we're losing at halftime against Arizona, and it's like 28-10, I'm putting Trey in then.
Yeah.
Let him get a half of football in his system, prepare him for the 2 weeks that we have for the bye week, and then start him full capacity against the Colts. That's what I would do. But I think if Jimmy plays well, and that just sucks because here, and like I said, it's hard to believe Kyle at this moment, but listening to Kyle's press conference, he said, "Oh, I think Jimmy G's playing great football." What?
Yeah, Jimmy G
Are,
had a very good
are we
game.
are we watching the same? Are we watching the same game? Because if you truly believe that, he might be starting. If he has the same type of games he's been having, and we lose, I still think Jimmy's going to start because they think that. Well, Kyle thinks that Jimmy's playing well, so I don't know. That's what sucks.
So let's say Jimmy has at least 2 turnovers the next 2 games, 2
Okay.
turnovers each game,
Okay.
and 1 touchdown or less.
Okay.
Trey has to come in and score again.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Jimmy playing well?
No.
Are we going to see Jimmy after the bye?
If he has 2 picks, if we leave these next 2 games with him throwing 4 picks and maybe 2 touchdowns, Trey should see the field against the Colts.
I mean, Jimmy had 2 turnovers, right, against Green
Yeah,
Bay?
he had that pick and then he had that backwards pass, which I don't know what that was. That I can excuse that for Trey.
Yeah.
8-year vet shouldn't be doing that. I'm sorry.
And that's my whole thing
Yeah.
is that, I'm not expecting Trey to come in and play better than what Jimmy's playing. I'm not expecting Trey to come in and take us to the promised land right now,
Yeah.
I'm expecting him to come in, play, take his bumps and bruises, and us get through it and be okay with it because he's a rookie and not a vet that's coming in and doing the same crap that the rookie could be doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. How many excuses are we going to give Jimmy? Like every year, it's something. Oh well, he only had this much long to learn the playbook. He hasn't been in the system this long. Well, he hasn't only played this long. Well, it's like, what? When is enough enough?
Yeah. And here's the thing, Jimmy came 2017? Right? Yeah, he came
Yep.
at the end. Yeah, that's right. Because 2018 is when he got hurt against the Chiefs and tore his ACL. Okay, so 2017, he's been in the system. Matter of fact, he got traded to us on my birthday. Remember, Miriah, October 23rd. So stop telling me happy birthday every other
day.
week. Every other week. So he got traded to us on my birthday, 2017. So he's been in this offense
that was your birthday present.
I know, terrible. So for 4 years, he's been in this offense almost. And our offense still looks like this?
Yeah.
With better weapons now.
It looks worse.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, it looks worse this year with the best weapons that we've had,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, he came in and went 5-0 with Jeremy Curley at wide receiver, I think. So
Yeah.
you look at this. Oh, that's awesome. October 23rd, my son's birthday too, huh? That's awesome. Yeah, I think you're right. He comes in, he's 5-0. He lights the 49ers world on fire. We're excited. Let's give him an extension. He gets hurt. Okay, whatever. And then so it's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, when he got here, the weapons were worse. The offensive line was worse. And then so our team has gotten, our roster, I guess, has gotten better, as you can say, every year. Our weapons at receiver have gotten way better. And we're still struggling when you've been here 4 years.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Yeah, like I haven't seen him improve in anything except for quarterback sneak. It's like that's the only thing that he does well is a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
He didn't learn that here either. I mean, he
Exactly.
learned behind the best quarterback sneaker. So
Yeah,
he
for
surely
sure.
didn't learn
Yeah.
that here.
Yeah.
So what has he learned to do better while he's been here?
Yeah, you're right. And I think the thing that makes me laugh the most is that at his press conference after the Lions game, he said, "Oh yeah, because he played good that game, so obviously he was on a high horse." And all the reporters, "Oh Jimmy, you played very well. What do you think has changed? The game has finally slowed down for me." Well,
Yeah.
nah, it doesn't look like it. So,
No.
so yeah, it's been embarrassing. So,
Yeah.
so
I
yeah,
mean,
so
it's always last year the offensive line was crap. The center, couldn't call out what he needed to call out. Okay. Now the center can call out. What's happening now?
yeah.
You're still not seeing open receivers. You're still not making the throws that need to throw. You're still not opening up the field for the run game or anything. Nobody's scared of you. The
At all.
defenses aren't coming into the game. The other teams aren't coming into this game scared of Jimmy.
Well, the fact that
Trust and believe.
yeah, well, the fact that the Chiefs during the Super Bowl, when we started throwing, they said we were glad the Niners stopped running the ball. We wanted Jimmy to throw. So
Yeah.
right there just tells you right there exactly what the league thinks of Jimmy.
Yeah, like you said, the defenses are licking their chops because guess what? We're going to make them look a lot better once they have those interceptions, all this as their stats rise and Jimmy's, look how they look.
hmm
They want Jimmy. You think they
Oh,
want
for
a
sure.
quarterback in there that can run on them, throw on them? They
Yeah.
don't want to see Lance.
Yeah, exactly. Because if I'm sitting there and I'm looking at if I have to face Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Mahomes or Kyler Murray, I, I'm fearful of that. I'm like, oh crap, he can beat me with both. I mean, not really Herbert, but he's a great quarterback already
Yeah.
too. But you look at these young and up and coming quarterback, and what's funny about it too. You look at the games. Okay, everybody's been dogging the rookie quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence had a good game last night. He didn't have any turnovers. He was efficient. You know why? He's getting snaps.
Yeah.
You're gonna get better of, I mean, and not all of them, obviously there's gonna be some busts, but at the same time Trevor Lawrence has improved almost every game.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
don't
and some can't get better because they have crap around them.
exactly.
If
And
they have
yeah,
nothing helping them, they
yeah,
can't get better. It's
exactly.
like, but the ones that do have a little something around them they're going to get better.
Yeah.
But let's not
So
throw in the one that has the best situation around him.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't get
crazy.
it. Well, cool. Yeah, so
I
it's good.
think,
I'm glad we both agree on a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think you're right, Mariah, and I think we're going to be disappointed on Sunday. I think we're going to be 2-2 come Sunday.
yeah. I did want to touch on one thing about the surprise that I kind of talked down on one of the first episodes. I'm not sure if it was with you or not, but about special teams. I think it
hmm
was with you that special teams
Yeah.
needed to step it up because we've been going into games already losing that piece of the puzzle,
Yes.
and that we drafted Wish all the way up there. And what have we got from him? Well, special teams is looking great.
It is.
Wish has been, pinning everybody, back and, giving great field position. You know, we actually have a little bit of a return game going now, with Ayuk back there, with Cannon back there. Like, I was so surprised to see players actually running, the ball, for
Yeah,
returns.
exactly.
It's like, and, I kind of talked bad about them. So I wanted to give them their props and,
For
because
sure.
with the offense performing like it has and the defense being not up to their full potential, special teams has looked great.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Mhm.
My dog's scratching at the door.
Okay. Can we at least drop this? Jimmy G is the nice guy, never place blame. BS. He totally threw Kyle under the bus. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seemed like a couple people were throwing Kyle under the bus this week. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, is everybody upset with Kyle the way that we are? The players too. That's the thing is that things just seem so crazy. It's I don't know. It's the quarterback. There might be a quarterback drama, and then it's now players are saying that they're not prepared for that they weren't prepared for the game. They're not prepared for the fronts they're giving. They're throwing Kyle under the bus for that. So it's like now we even have the players throwing their head coach under the bus at pressers. And that's something that we haven't seen from this, group
Hmm.
before.
Yeah, it's funny too. I was listening to Kyle Juszczyk, who he's my favorite player on the team. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, and not to touch too much longer on these topics, but when they first brought in Kyle Juszczyk, remember they called him a OW.
Yep.
They were like, "Oh, we're bringing that. We don't see him as a fullback. He's an OW
Yeah.
offensive weapon." Well, he's not even being used. I was glad he was used more this last week, which I was happy. But man, he creates so many mismatches, and it's like I don't know why they're not being creative with the personnel that they have. So, but yeah, so I was listening to him, and he was just like, they asked him about Trey Lance, and he was like, he's a once Trey gets under center, he's going to be great. So I honestly think the offense is getting a little frustrated.
Yeah.
I think they are. I think they're getting a little bit frustrated. I don't think Kittle has turned the corner yet, but even with him saying, like, I mean, he said to the reporters, to what we've all been seeing, he goes, they stacked our box, we couldn't get a run game going, they took away the middle where we like to execute, and this and that. So it's like, eventually these players are going to just come, or just probably going to go to Kyle and say, look, Kyle, I know we tried to say we wanted to ride with Jimmy, but it's time. And you're right, Debbie, special teams been on point.
Yep.
Wishes, yeah, he's been on point. I'm not a Juice fan. Who said that?
Melissa.
She's not a Juice fan.
Yep.
Oh, wow,
But
Josh
she's
Hokins.
been
That's because
watching.
Josh.
Yeah.
That's because Josh Hokins, her boy.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I'm originally from Fresno, California, so I root for him too. But come on, Melissa, he's not Juice.
And I agree, Miss Debbie, is that, for them to stand up there, in front of something that's going out to everybody to say we weren't prepared for what we were seeing. I mean, who gets you prepared for the game?
Hmm.
You know, that only falls back on one person, and that's the coach. And for
Yeah,
the players to stand up there and say they weren't prepared, that's,
I think what
I
it
don't
is
know.
with Kyle, he needs to really take a step back and look in the mirror and realize, like, yeah, I can be this great offensive play caller, blah blah blah, but now you're a head coach. You have to worry about special teams, what gets called on the defense, what gets called on the offense. So ultimately, it does fall on him. So yeah, I don't know. I think he just, maybe it's just one of those things where he's getting the pass because he's been so great on offense, and then his dad was a good head coach, but it was a good head. So cause I think if his name wasn't Kyle Shanahan, he wouldn't be getting so much of a pass.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
I think that's all I have. Do you have
cool.
anything else?
No, I think that's it. This is my second time on your show, and we both live here in Vegas. We need to, like we talked about last night, we got to go hit the either 49er bar or one of the sports books to go watch a game together and stuff. So, but yeah, anytime you want me on your show, I'll be more than happy to be on it.
Why don't you tell everybody where to find you?
I don't even know what my. Oh, here we go. So I don't do any podcasts. I don't do Instagram, nothing like that. I'm pretty, even though it doesn't seem like it. I'm a pretty chill. I mean, not chill. What's the word I want to use? I'm a pretty private person, I guess you can say. So I don't really get on much stuff, but you can reach me at on Twitter at TL49er Magic _23. So, and so everybody always thinks like I say it as like, oh, the 49ers are magical. Actually, what my handle means, it's my initials, Teran Lewis. I'm a 49ers fan and an Orlando Magic fan.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the magic comes from, and then the _23 because my birthday's October 23rd. So that's where my name stems from. Everybody's like, "Oh, 49er Magic." I was like, "Yeah, but it doesn't mean what you think." So, but yeah, that's the only way. That's the only place I can be found. But yeah, I wouldn't. I think most of the people here that are commenting all follow me. But if you don't follow me, shoot me a follow, and I'll definitely follow back. So
There you go. Again, I appreciate you being here, coming on, giving me your time. I know we had this set up for last night and the internet was just not being my friend. So we had to get a new internet box tonight, and thankfully it's working and going well. So I appreciate you rescheduling and
for
sticking
sure.
through. And bringing everything that you bring to this channel. You're a great guest, and I appreciate you and everybody in the chat, Miss Deb, Melissa, Janelle, Mike, everybody, Moses. Yeah. We'll see what happens this week.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. All right, Faithful. Have a good weekend.